What up, everyone? Welcome back to 10th Man on the Bench podcast. I'm your host, Willis Love, and we got a special episode today. We are talking about wrestling. So let me bring my panel in, and let me just have you guys introduce yourself. Say where you're from, what you do, and, just tell the people where you're from, man.
Hey man, Luck Stockton from Coney Island. Big wrestling fan, and thank you for having me on today. Appreciate it.
Copy, copy.
What's up, y'all? What's going on? Good evening, good evening. Darrell Foster, much love on his brother, aka Doc Holliday. Been watching wrestling since I was a little kid. They're watching it now. So I got a lot to say on it.
All right, all right.
Hey, this is CJ, Willis Love's childhood friend, and I'm happy to be on the podcast. I'm from Coney Island, Brooklyn, New York.
Yes, sir. And my man Dylan. Yo, Dylan, what's up, man? Tell them where you from. What's up, man? What's going on, man?
What's up? What's up? I'm Dylan. I know Kev slash Willis. We work together. I've been watching wrestling since I can remember. Probably I was like 4 years old. So
Hmm. Well, first of all, thank you guys for being on the show. I really appreciate it. And we got a lot of interesting topics to talk about. So the first thing I just want to throw out to you guys, right, is there's a lot of wrestling promotions out right now on TV, televised. What is your favorite promotion? Like what's popping for you guys? What's lit right now?
Should I start? That's fine with me. The best promotion out right now is All Elite Wrestling, headlined by Mr. Tony Khan on TBS and TNT. Why I say it's the best promotion? Wrestling. Point blank period. You got the best wrestlers in the world coming from different indie places to come to one place and give you 5-star matches. Any pay-per-view, guaranteed 3 to 4 hours of 5-star matches, and you're not gonna be able to beat that at all.
All right. I'm gonna chime in on that one a little bit. Growing up, all we knew was WWF slash WWE. Now, you one thing people gotta understand, the key word in WWE is entertainment. That's all it is. The wrestling thing, the storylines, the everything. If you watch it, you can tell already what's going to happen because it's all pre-scripted. I get AEW is up and coming, but they're signing a lot of guys who are pretty much latching on for checks. Their matches are matches, but like I said, in my opinion, it's a lot of mistakes happening because they do not know each other, and the filling out process. They, I don't know if they're rehearsing long enough or what they're doing long enough, but their matches can be better. They have like an NBA count, 30-1 and stuff like that. It's crazy.
If I was to say my favorite promotion right now, it would have to be WWE. The reason why I say that, because yes, it's entertainment, but they also wrestle at the same time, and they do pit 5-star matches depending on who's the superstar. And there's tendencies of the top guy of the company, carrying the brand, like Roman Reigns, for example. He was champion for 1,316 days, I think. And he literally carried the company on the back. He brought so much money to the company. And, like, I'm looking forward to what happens with this updated Bloodline story.
Mm. Dylan, what you think, man? What's your favorite wrestling promotion, man?
WWE for sure. Um, I grew up on it, and it's kind of all I know. I gave AEW a chance back when it first started, and it didn't really pique my interest. I gave it a little bit of a shot. I like Chris Jericho. I saw him as the top guy when it first started, but just nothing really comes close to the product of WWE. Been to a few shows this year. Got to see a double taping of SmackDown. Nobody does it like WWE, and I think it's only getting better.
So Tim, you're the only one that said AEW. So I just want to know, like, what is your pet peeves with the other companies? Like, what is it about WWE that's not hitting for you?
You got 3 hours show. 2 hours is 2 hours is either commercial or segments. Where's the wrestling? When you
Mm.
finally do wrestle, it's boring. Unless you have a guy like Seth Rollins, AJ Styles, Shinsuke, no, you know the guys.
Mm-hmm.
They put on a show. Chad Gable. I'm more in my thing now is I understand WWE's entertainment. Get it. I'm more in tune now with watching a wrestling match, going there and enjoying an actual match hand in hand. I think when Dylan spoke, he said that he gave AEW a try, and the first person he said was Chris Jericho, a WWE guy,
Mm.
an older WWE guy at that. That can't really wrestle like that no more. When you have guys like Kenny Omega, who I say is the best wrestler in the world,
Mm.
hand bar none, nobody can touch him in any ring. But that's just me. Everybody got different tastes. Um, I would just say WWE has gotten better when Triple H just took over.
Mm.
Vince have really took me out of WWE. How badly booked and how badly um segments and just how character development was, and certain people should have actually been champion and everything else, but they wasn't. And now I feel like WWE is getting a lot better. Is going into that NXT phase.
Mm.
I personally, when I watch WWE, I love NXT. So I'm not saying WWE is bad, but now what I'm saying is they're finally getting away from Vince, and that Triple H is finally putting his foot stamp into something, and you can see the NXT rubbing off into the main roster, which is amazing.
It's true. Do you guys see any truth in that? Do you guys?
I, I got to say, like, okay, if you look at it like this, WWE is the blueprint. Everybody wants to get on that level where there's they are like okay, like Tim just said, the commercials and stuff like that. All that is the checks. The multi that's what made WWE a multi-trillion, not billion, $1 trillion industry. It sells out more than the Super Bowl, World Series, NBA Finals. It's no entertainment that outsells WWE when it comes to promotion and money. And if you look at a lot of these promotionals, they're starting to go back to try to copy the Attitude Era, where they're cursing, they're being flamboyant, arrogance, everything started because there was no era like the Attitude Era in wrestling. So now everybody look at AEW, USA, TBS, they allowed them to curse more and more. At TNA, they're cursing more and more and more. All this is copywritten from the Attitude Era. Like he said, Chris Jericho. Look at the guys AEW signed to come behind them. Look who's the champ now. A former WWE guy. Chris Jericho, Kenny Omega, great wrestler. I would never say nothing about him negative. Where's he been the last 9 months? Injured. Once again, this is why I say when you're not familiar with certain people, you get yourselves hurt. The Young Bucks. I give Cody Rhodes a lot of respect on AEW because he never wanted the championship belt. All the guys who formed AEW wanted gold around their waist before they started everything. Cody Rhodes said, I would never fight for the championship because it's bigger than that. But the Young Bucks, Kenny Omega, these guys wanted to shine. And you got to give it to the up and coming guys. Like you said, the guys have been international. Let the other people shine. And that was a lot of stuff with WWE also. The right people never carried the belt that should have carried the belt with talent.
So what do you mentioned a lot of WWE guys that's in AEW. So you got like Adam Cole and things like that. And how do you feel about former WWE stars trying to carry that company on their back? How do you guys feel about that?
It's paychecks. Paychecks. So
Mm.
you got to look at it like this. Tony Khan knows it too. John Moxley has the belt as a slap to WWE. Yo, we got your
Mm.
guy. He's one of the top guys here. Now we're going to put a belt on him because he should have never lost the belt in WWE. So they trying to mock him and go back and forth. But if you notice, Triple H has opened the forbidden door. So he's
Mm.
going to start branching out to more and more brands. He just signed something with New Japan, TNA. He's going to start opening that door with something Vince never did. So he's going to bring more money and more outside talent to WWE. It's in the process.
Well, fellas, with them going to Netflix, you guys chime in on that. Go ahead, Tim.
All
Go
right,
ahead.
cool. WWE roster is mainly built off of indie stars, right?
Mm-hmm.
So how many homegrown guys throughout the years? We can go back. How many homegrown guys has came up? You might have got John Cena, Taker, but after a while, it was Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, um, Ricochet before he left. A lot of these guys came from the indies and came and shined in WWE. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
confused as to they was great in the indies. They get to WWE. Some of them gets misused, some of them don't. And then when they leave and they go to AEW, it's bad. Boy, y'all sat there and took all the pieces from PWG and Ring of Honor, all that. CM Punk, Seth Rollins, all them guys came from there. You bring in the WWE and you act like they've never had a past. And then if they leave, you act like, oh, if they don't do great, if they do great somewhere else, then WWE is the reason why they're great. They were great before they got there.
Mm.
May I chime in?
Go ahead, see.
Go ahead.
They could be great and the other federations and stuff like that, the other promotions. But like you said, when they get to WWE, they're treated like nobodies, and they just get sent to catering. Unless they are a big name from that federation, the
The
promotion.
promotion, yeah. Mm.
Because
Well,
So
go ahead,
go ahead,
see.
CJ.
some guys that could come from New Japan, like for example, AJ Styles, he came in the 2016 Rumble #3. He had a little uh thing going once he dropped the title to, I think it was John Cena. That's when he went downhill.
Yeah.
And
Go ahead, see. Keep going. If you got more, let's go.
what else I could bring up? Like another thing, like this is about wrestling, of course. Brock Lesnar when he was champion. Any of the guys that came from the other federations, they got buried to him.
Mm.
Like they was feeding him, and they didn't go nowhere after that. And whoever lost to him, they literally went down the drain.
Wow. Wow.
That's good too. And he has a valid point. But you got to also remember a lot of this stuff is contracts. Like when you come back in, that's part of the whole to get you to come to the WWE. We're going to give you a title run. We're going to give you the bag. We're going to give you a piece of merchandising. Like you said, Seth Rollins, CM Punk, all them guys were great in indies. But why did they come there? Because of the bag. They want that money. It's all good. These guys are great, but they got to take care of their families at the end of the day. Brock Lesnar, great independent wrestler. If y'all want to go back, who did Brock lose to all through college? Sheldon Benjamin, Charlie Haas. But these guys have never got the run they deserve. Sheldon Benjamin, one of the greatest athletes that ever came from WWE. And why y'all didn't give him a title run? Because he couldn't talk on the mic. He couldn't entertain
Mm.
the people.
Mm-hmm.
Booker T, one of the good ones. Ricochet, like you said, great wrestler. Shinsuke and Brock fought the independent circuit. I posted that on Facebook a couple of weeks ago. Nobody even knew they even fought each other back in the day. But it's about the merchandising, the brand, the look. And you said homegrown. Let's go. Rock, Randy Orton. Randy Orton is one of the greatest to ever put on them tights. Homegrown. You got the whole bloodline. It's homegrown. They shined in the independent circuit, but that's where they came. Back home where their forefathers started at. They have
Mm.
to come back home. AEW, like I said, I agree with Dylan. I gave it a shot. And I'm just like, why these older guys, if it's supposed to be a new thing, why are the older guys getting the belts? Because they need the name behind the belt to carry the brand. Nobody's going to watch Hook be the heavyweight champion every week. They're going to watch, like you said, Chris Jericho, Kenny Omega. The names behind the belt sell the brand. Now, once I get the people in to watch, like, okay, Swerve Strickland should have never lost the belt, but they took it off of him. For whatever reason they did, they took it off from the AEW. He had a 3-month run, maybe, top, and y'all took the belt from him after a whole storyline of him going through it, his family house burning down, all this other stuff, the struggle. He was from bad guy to good guy to lose the belt to who? Once again, a former WWE star that the crowd is chanting for every week. Yes, yes, yes.
So wait, so how do you feel? Because Bobby Lashley just went over there.
He will
So
be the
what?
next champion.
I was just about to say that they have a habit of putting belts on people who like just sign to the brand. And Tim, you could chime in on this because I've seen a lot of people like who just signed to AEW and then like next week they the champion out of nowhere. I'm like, yo, like what happened to the storyline? Nothing. Like so
Mhm.
you speak on this more than anybody else, Tim. So I want to
Okay,
know.
so that's not true. Swerve had the belt for about 5, 6 months. And
Mhm.
only reason why Danielson got it is because he was on his way out with a neck injury, and Tony Khan begged Danielson to take it. Take it. That's the only reason why. I personally would have never took it off Swerve. You totally right. Adam Cole was supposed to have the title, but he got hurt. Um, do I feel they need? Are they giving the young guys a chance? Yes, but like you said, it starts with big major guys coming in and doing it. What I will say is this: the Young Bucks and Hangman are definitely two people that really wanted the belt. Kenny never wanted the belt, and he was dealing with. And the reason why he's out for 9 months is because he was dealing with vertigo since he was in New Japan. While he was putting on them 5-star classics with Okada, he was seriously injured. And the only reason why he finally got a surgery because they said he was about to die.
Mm.
So that's really the only reason why he's
Mm,
literally out is because he was getting ready to die. If he died, and if they didn't say that, he still would have been wrestling.
Wow.
Do I say AEW has flaws?
wow.
Yes. They need better storylines that people could sink their teeth into. I do give it that. That's one thing WWE has over anybody, storylines and writers. I think WWE needs AEW needs better writers. Um and how the whole Shelton thing, you was totally right. Shelton is probably one of the greatest wrestlers that will never get the accolades and the recognition he deserves. Team Angle was amazing.
Word
He
mother.
was a great tag team person, and he had a couple of intercontinental runs. But my question is, do you think Shelton and certainty and Booker and Ricochet didn't get the love that they deserve because of they couldn't talk on the mic or because of the skin color and the person who was running that time?
Mm.
I'm on that. On that, it's a combination of all the above. It's a combination. But Sheldon, Ricochet, Lashley, because it's not a race. Back in the days, it was a real race thing because the prototypical African American wrestler wasn't the prototypical He-Man type build, all the muscles, chisel, all the other stuff, the athleticism. But if you go back in the day, The Rock's father, Mr. USA Tony Atlas, Junkyard Dog, Ron Simmons, these guys all held heavyweight championships in all different levels before they got there. And that's the sad part. When you had Hulk Hogan, who wasn't a great wrestler, but he was the typical face that everybody wanted to see, he became the face of the brand. In every match, he was out wrestled and stuff like that. Shelton Benjamin, who they kept getting him, they made him a butt of a lot of jokes with
Mhm.
Shawn Michaels, super kicking him every chance they got. Ricochet Ricochet can outperform anybody on a given night. Now look going forward, Montez Ford from the Street Profits, another athletic African American that they are not going to push like they supposed to. Because when it comes to us, we form factions, we get popular, and they break us up without any gold around our waist. Look at the New Day. It's no way in the world the New Day should be feuding with Big E, getting personal, and even breaking up. That 10-year, 12-year run of money, fame. Now y'all went on a different storyline.
I'm glad you brought that up because I wanted to ask you guys, how do you guys feel about the New Day's heel turn?
I hate it.
Es- Especially with Big E breaking his neck. Like in the storyline is like basically like you broke your neck and you rehabbed and you forgot about us. I don't, how do you guys feel about that? That's a little iffy to me, but you know, you guys speak on it, man.
I
It's a
hate it.
hard topic.
I hate it.
Mm. Go ahead, see.
I
I
hate it.
wasn't expecting them to turn heel at that moment. I thought they would have the celebration and then Xavier Woods would like be the person to attack Kofi and E.
Mm.
But it turns out both Kofi and Xavier destroyed E verbally.
Mm. But how do you,
Um,
you know, my bad, T, just real quick. You know, this guy's dealing with a neck injury. This guy broke his neck, right? So why do you think they took that angle? Like that's a crazy angle to go by.
let,
Like nobody
let,
was expecting that.
Mm-hmm.
let, let
Nobody.
me let me tell you something. Kurt Angle wrestled with a broken freaking neck. All right. Stone Cold came back from a messed up neck after getting dropped on it. All right.
Mm-hmm.
We're not doing that. This was actually this was actually the greatest. This was what it was one of the unexpected heel turns because everybody and their mom thought Xavier was turning. Everybody,
Agree.
outlets, media, everybody, any wrestling fan would have said Xavier is turning. We thought he was about to go to the Final Testament. He's wearing the black and gray. He switched up. We think he can turn heel, and the fact that they both turn heel on Big E,
At the celebration.
classic, classic. It was perfect because let's be honest, the New Day, nobody really cared after a while about them.
That's true.
They
I didn't know
nobody
where they
cared about
was.
them, and
Mm-hmm.
and now they finally got the juice back. They finally got and guess what? Do not be surprised. Royal Rumble, Big E returns, and they
Mm.
have a triple threat New Day match at WrestleMania.
Mm.
There's a potential for that.
But
That is so. I say it was great. Was it kind of personal? I loved it because then his Big E's girlfriend chimed in and flamed both of them. So it was good. I love how WWE, and that's why I said WWE story writing is great because I love how they took personal and didn't go
Yeah.
too cross the line with it and mixed it
Yeah.
with with professional wrestling. So
Mm-hmm.
to me it was amazing.
Yeah. Dylan, what you thought about that, man? What you thought about that hill turn, man?
Uh, I watched it live. I hated it at first because I love the New Day, love the whole good guy gimmick, making everybody feel good and riling the crowd up and stuff. I wasn't expecting the turn on Big E. I was expecting it to be Xavier, like Tim said. Um, but after a little bit of reflection and talking to a couple of my friends about it, it was like, oh, it's pretty good. They did a good job. Um, like Tim said, everybody expected it to be Xavier. Nobody expected them to turn on Big E. And Twitter was blowing up, and apparently the pop that they got from turning heel was allegedly, according to Twitter, bigger than like Dominic's pops. So I
Mm.
like the direction it's going because it kind of renewed it for them, and it was like we were saying, it was kind of getting tired. Like, oh, New Day's here, yay, cool, crowd claps, New Day rocks, whatever, whatever. But now it's New Day sucks, and it's we hate the New Day because of what they did to Big E, and it opens up the lane for Big E to come back and have this like really great comeback story. So the blurring of the lines, like Triple H likes to do, I think that's perfect when you're telling stories because you don't know if it's real, and it evokes that emotion from
Mm-hmm.
the crowd that that's basically what the business is about. And I was going to touch on it before we moved on, but like that's why I'm a big fan of the WWE, because it's not just about the physicality of it, which is great, and they're the top athletes in my opinion, but they're also the top storytellers, and they have a way of getting the emotion out of you like nobody else does. And it draws you in. Like I said, being there in person, man, I was invested. I was like a little kid sitting on the edge of my seat, like, who's coming out now? Making 10, 20 different predictions at a time. Like it was amazing. So yeah, I'm down for the New Day being the bad guys now. I like it.
Well, with the transition to Netflix, right? And now they have more creative freedom. How do you guys feel like that story is going to translate over into the new merger with Netflix?
I look at it like Tim said earlier, same thing with Dylan. The overall is the Royal Rumble is coming up. The biggest surprise pay-per-view WWE has. So I'm pretty sure, y'all all in agreement with me. It's going to be a time Xavier, Kofi's going to be in the ring together. And E's music is going to hit. And he's going to come out. Like Dylan said, the fans, the audience, everything is a build-up now. Everybody's building up for the Royal Rumble, because after Royal Rumble, the next biggest pay-per-view is WrestleMania. So you got Netflix is already on board. And like I said, this is financial. No program is going to ever top the money that WWE generates. That's why they're going to get away with this. It's easy. It's another thing. It's not on the topic, but pay attention. They're about to do the Bianca Belair switch. It's about her time now. Slow motion. They're planting seeds on everybody who's going to be here. But you got to look at it. They wasted Xavier's King of the Ring run. They squashed Kofi for Brock Lesnar. They got rid of the whole Hurt business before he even launched. Look at the stars. Like I said, it's just what's going to happen next. It's pretty much predictable when you see how it plays out after a while. Everybody knows CM Punk, Seth Rollins, Drew McIntyre, all these names, Sami Zayn. The bloodline is going to run its course after a while. You know why? It's no titles. It's only a family feud, a big family feud. And then they just signed 3 more cousins. That's crazy. Triple H just
Yeah,
signed 3
that's
more
crazy.
cousins.
That's crazy.
It's crazy. They just
That's
signed 3 more cousins.
crazy. That's
3 more.
crazy. That was the bomb of the whole podcast. I did not know that. That's crazy.
Now,
Yeah.
you know what the crazy part about it is? I mean, sorry for cutting you off.
Go ahead, Doug.
They signed one of the cousins, and I'm gonna say this now. His name Zilla Fatu. Him and Jacob is gonna run the company. Give it 2 or
I
3
agree.
years. Give it 2 to 3 years. They're gonna run that company. I don't know about the other ones, but I know Zilla. I seen Zilla in person. I seen Jacob in person. Them two is gonna run SmackDown, Raw, whatever you want. NXT. They're gonna run it in 2 to 3 years tops.
Because
I was gonna
eventually
say,
they're gonna have to find a Roman Reigns replacement. He's not on TV because of his sickness still. So they gotta find a replacement. And Solo's not it. The Usos are old. So you gotta find like that's why I love Seth Rollins. He carried the company without a belt. He carried it without a belt. Like Randy Orton. These guys don't need belts. They don't need it. You know what I'm saying? I think Damian Priest is a good one coming up. I think I'm a fan of his. I don't know about y'all. LA Knight is a throwback from back in the day. He's trying to recreate something. But if you look at these guys going all around, Rey Mysterio, Legends contract. Randy Orton, Legends contract. These guys are not available because they can't hold up. AJ Styles is still in the win because he might come back just for the Royal Rumble, just to
Yeah,
make a
I can see
surprise
that.
entrance. They're wasting Karrion Kross. He's talented. It's like they wasted Aleister Black, another talented guy.
Well,
It's a
Dylan,
pick and choose.
chime in here, Dylan, real quick, because I know you wanted to say what you was gonna say. Just chime in real quick before we move
I
on.
was
I
gonna
want to move on.
Go
piggyback
ahead.
of what Tim said about Zilla. If you guys want to watch him in person, he wrestles at House of Glory pretty frequently. And I know December 20th, the Hardy Boys are gonna be there, so they're gonna get traffic, and Zilla will probably wrestle that night. But I'm excited to see Zilla come in. I was talking about it with my boss because he's a big wrestling guy. Um, Zilla's training, I believe, under Booker T at Booker T's school. It kind of took him under his wing because Zilla got
Mm.
arrested when he was 15. He was in jail for what was it, 8 years. And just got out recently. I think he's like 22, 23 years old, and he's like a freak athlete. And Booker T was like, "Listen, I went through the same stuff as you. Was in jail and got out. Needed a way to kind of channel my energy and do something good and positive." And Booker T is one of the all-time greats. So I think Zilla's the guy. And I do think him and Jacob together are going to be a force to be reckoned with. Something with them turning on Solo or Jacob turning on Solo. Zilla already said he's going to join Roman, or he would join Roman if he was given the opportunity. So, but yeah, it's gonna be dope.
So, how do you guys feel about the Bloodline storyline now? Like right now, currently in its state, how do you guys feel about it?
I love it.
It's amazing,
If they stay
Um,
healthy,
right?
where can
if
they
they
go
stay healthy,
next? Like, I feel like at a certain point, where can they go now? Like, Paul Heyman said a year ago, we only in the third inning. I thought he was crazy, but he was serious. He really was only in the third inning. So now it's like, oh, CM Punk is involved now. So what are we doing now? Like, are we going for the Ula Fala, or are we just mad at everybody's mad at each other? So now it's just turf war.
And what is the Rock's role in this? Right?
Oh, the
The
Rock's
Rock is
role.
the owner.
I
He's
feel like
he's he's
He's
the
the
final
owner.
boss.
He's the brains behind everything. He's the brains behind the operation,
I
pulling
Hmm.
the
think he'll show up at
pieces, pulling the
Rumble.
strings. I also think he's going to show up at Rumble and definitely WrestleMania. I was, I could have bet any amount of money that he was going to be at War Games, and he didn't.
I
But
think it
I
was
do
too
think he's
early for
going to
that.
show up. Yeah, I mean, yeah, kind of, but everything was alluding to it. He had just wrapped uh production on Moana 2, so everyone was like, "Oh, he's coming." And I was like, "Oh, maybe it could be cool." Like at the end of the match, him show up or him interfere some way. But to piggyback again off of what Tim was saying, where do they go from here? That's what they want you to think. They want you to think it's over, and then they smack us in the face with 10 different new things that nobody was expecting, kind of like Rock showing up randomly that one time. Like nobody thought that was going to happen. It was just kind of, hey, I'm here again. Um, and then with Sammy coming back, I kind of everyone kind of saw that coming, but it's just I like it. I like the whole turf war thing, the family turmoil. I think they give the titles to one or two of the titles at one point to maybe Roman, and then maybe I don't know, maybe Jimmy or Jay. I think there's going to be some kind of conflict there with Jay and Roman trying to get the what was it, the Universal Championship. I think
Hmm.
that could be something that happens along the lines somewhere down the line because Cody's going to turn heel too. Like Doc was saying, that they plant the seeds. You can already see the seeds are being planted for Cody to turn heel, and he's going to lose the belt. So there's so many different directions it can go. I'm excited.
Wait, hold on. Two things. The Rock is gonna come in at number 31 or 32. The last he's gonna force himself in the Rumble, and he's gonna win to go to WrestleMania to fight Cody, and he's gonna beat Cody at WrestleMania. The second thing is, why do you think Cody's gonna turn heel knowing he makes them so much money as a face?
Um,
I
They've
think,
already
like,
started.
I
Go ahead,
agree with
Doc.
a lot of it. Go ahead, Dylan. No, go ahead,
No,
Dylan.
no,
You
you
got it.
go.
You got the floor.
All
I
right.
like this. All these points are valid, especially with all these surprises. But you got to think, how long can Roman carry a belt due to his medical history? And do we really want to see a rerun of 1,000 and such days of him having the belt and nobody able to take it from him cleanly? Nobody wants to see that, really. The more and more the bloodline comes in, they're all on SmackDown. Sooner or later, you're gonna have the invasion. You're gonna have the draft. You're gonna have to break that up. They all can't be on SmackDown fighting. That's the one thing they can't do. And then I can see the Usos fighting the brothers for the belts, or Z, all them coming in. It's a whole lot of things they could do with them. But right now, I don't think putting gold on any of them would make any sense right now because all y'all gonna have is, like you said, turf war in-house fighting. Because you'd have thought after Survivor Series, he would have got the thing back and put it back on his neck after winning the whole thing. He never went after it. He never mentioned it. He just walked out. And Paul Heyman could have got it and given it to him. And that could have been the whole thing. I got it back. Now I'm on top of the mountain again. You gave it back to Solo. Solo is not entertaining. It's far from it. And I think all jokes aside, I think he's the sloppiest one out of the bloodline, honestly
I
speaking.
agree.
But the rest of them are more athletic than Solo. Solo is a brute, Umaga, all over again. He's not jumping on the ropes and all the spectacular that have the crowd going, oh, oh. He's not that guy. He's the newer Umaga. That's all he is. And that's no disrespect to him. You know your lane, stay in your lane. But like you said, you got Shinsuke, LA Knight, Damian Priest. You got Finn Balor, Gunther, Ludwig Kaiser's a great wrestler. You got to give him some. You got to give him some props on that. You got Braun Breaker. You got, like I said, you got these guys coming in, but you got everybody concentrating on the bloodline. Sooner or later, they're gonna have what WCW used to have called invasion. Some way or another, the bloodline got to mix with everybody else. And the top of that mountain will be Seth Rollins. Guaranteed.
Mm. Well, CJ, you said that you agree about the Solo comment. Like, why do you agree?
Because he's not very athletic when it comes to certain things compared to the rest of the bloodline members. And if we single them out one by one, we got the Usos. They're very athletic. Roman Reigns, under his condition, he's also athletic. Tama Tonga and his brother, or not his brother, but Tama Tonga anyway, is very athletic. I can't talk too much on Tonga Loa because I didn't watch much of him from the other promotions. Jacob Fatu is very athletic. I would probably say he's the most athletic out of the whole bloodline, from what I've seen. And with the new ones coming in, like Zilla, I think the tall one, Hukaleo, he's also signed. I just don't know when they're gonna bring him on TV.
Mm. So, do you think with the brand transfer to Netflix, and because I heard that they're gonna allow people to just be on any show now, do you think that's gonna benefit the bloodline more or the company more? Like, what do you guys feel about that?
It
It
depends
benefits the
on who they
company.
bring in.
That's that forbidden door that Vince had locked for years. He never
Mm-hmm.
wanted outside talent to come inside and eat. But Triple H, like Tim said, he has a vision. Let's transform this to something bigger. And I can say AEW, the good part about them is they bring all the belts from everywhere. So you can fight for the
Mm-hmm.
Ring of Honor belt, AEW Championship, TNA if you got it, the IWPG, all of them. But Triple H sees money. He sees dollar signs. That's why he allowed the female from TNA to participate in the
And the
Royal Rumble.
Royal Rumble last year, yeah,
And
that was big. That was
Jordan
big.
Grace.
Yeah, that was
right,
big. Mm-hmm.
right, going because he's looking at dollars for the long run. If I get more and more money, these guys can have real contracts. Triple H is even giving guys days off. It's a very big difference in what he's doing. He sees dollars. Let's open this. And know what's going to happen? All these factions are going to fold in slow motion because now the checks are coming from WWE. They're not going to be coming from AEW. So let me keep them in here, give them a nice severance, and keep them going. And now you got every crowd from TNA, AEW, New Japan, everybody's on Netflix. to see who comes out.
Do you think that more promotions is gonna try to take that swing and get with a streaming platform? Like, you think AEW is gonna try to come off TV and just go to like a competitor, like a Hulu or a Peacock, or what you think, Tim?
They're already on HBO Max. Sounds a big deal already.
Mm.
Mm,
So all of AEW pay-per-views starting next year will be on HBO Max. They already
Mm.
signed the
wow.
deal. Yeah, they already signed the deal. It was in the process for the whole year, but they signed it a few months ago. So they already got a streaming service ready to go. Triller, but for right now they're on Triller. Triller
Mm.
app is real good because they got
Mm,
GCW stuff on there. If y'all do watch GCW, they're decent. If you want some hardcore action, they got Progress up there. So everybody's moving to a streaming thing. I want to chime back on the whole Triple H and to the other companies. WWE has benefited from Joe Hendry being on the show, Jordan Grace, couple other guys, and I can't remember. Mickey James had the belt on there. Who has WWE sent to TNA to make them better?
I think they had NXT star Sol Ruka on there. But again, that's not a big name. I'm just putting it out there.
So who's really benefiting from that transaction?
WWE.
So TNA is really not benefiting. If you really want to do a partnership, why you didn't send one of your big names to TNA? You got Dolph Ziggler there. You could have sent anybody to go wrestle Dolph Ziggler. My fault, Nick Nemeth. You could have did any. You could have sent anybody there to go wrestle him. He know the WWE platform. You could have sent anybody there. Why wasn't an actual star there?
That is a good question.
I
Because
think
they
what
only had
happened was
NXT stars there.
right. Go ahead, see.
No, no, that's what I was saying. They only had NXT stars there. I haven't seen like a main roster there.
They they wanted Mook to come to do a crossover match. But in a lot of reason they didn't want to come over there. But once again, we go back to what we were talking about before. A former WWE guy has the belt. Gotta think about it. He is the champ. They make sure a WWE guy gets the belt because the crowd knows that person. So I'm gonna chime in every week to see Dolph Ziggler with the belt. I'm gonna see Daniel Bryan with the belt. I'm gonna see Chris Jericho with the belt. Guys they grew up on, like you said, Tim. These guys have been around for a year. A lot of people not hip to the new generation of independent wrestling. A lot of people aren't on it. So now, like you said, you do your history, you do your research. Kenny Omega been wrestling 30 years in New Japan, held every belt in all different kind of continents. It works like that. And you go back even further. This is me telling my age. Andre the Giant never lost a match in no wrestling faction for 20 plus years. Undefeated until he got to WWE and they needed to get Hulk Hogan over. And how do you get him over? You beat the biggest man in the industry, the one with the undefeated streak, and you push him from that point on. Andre Giant was the biggest non-champion in the history of wrestling. And he never wanted the belt. He told Vince, I don't want a belt. I'm just here to entertain the people. But how he did it, blew the company up, he beat him. It's all about the money. So, and WWE is a conglomerate. They hold the checks. You ain't gonna negotiate with somebody who has the brand. You're gonna try. I'm not gonna send Kurt Angle over there. I'm not gonna send Randy over to TNA to get y'all popular. No, I'm gonna let y'all guys come to us. Y'all come on us. We own copyright everything, all this monster Snickers, Slim Jim, everything. Y'all gonna see everything to tune in with WWE because we own it all. So come over here. Why go to the
Well,
little market? It's still
Well,
the big one.
speaking of big market stuff, because you touched on that, and with the girl coming from TNA and joining the Royal Rumble last year, where do you guys see WWE taking their women's division this year, or any brand? Like, how do you guys view women's wrestling right now?
Can I start first?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. WWE has that NXT women's roster, and I'm not talking about the looks, but just how they wrestle. They have so many Stephanie Valkyra who just came, Julia, you got Jada Parker, Last Legend, and then even with the main roster with Jade. So I feel like WWE has a good future for their women's wrestling. Are they going to give the women's enough time to showcase it? They have been doing better with that. But are you going to give them the 20-minute and 30-minute matches like you give a male? That's the key for them. And then I think AEW women's roster is like top heavy. You got a few gems, but other than that, they put on good matches. But I feel like they don't have enough depth, and you could say for their women's roster. And I think everybody else is just if you like indies wrestling, you can pick and choose who you like from other independent wrestlers. But WWE has a hold of the women's division because they have so much depth.
And now with the added titles, like they added brand new titles for the women, do you think that was a good move for the company?
Yes.
Anybody else? CJ,
I
I
would say
Dylan?
agree.
yes because it gives the women superstars that never had a chance at the main titles to go for the women's US and the IC titles.
Hmm.
Like superstars that would never be in the main event picture for the women's world titles.
Hmm. Well, currently, right, they have that tournament going on for the titles. Who you guys think is going to be the first one to get it?
I feel like Dakota Kai will win the IC women's title. That's the Raw one, right?
Mm-hmm.
And for the US, it's kind of hard to say.
Mm.
Kind of hard to
Is
say.
is Michin still in the tournament for SmackDown?
I
I'm
think
not
so.
sure.
Because I remember she was in it. If she's still in it for SmackDown, I think you should give it to her. And on Raw, Dakota Kai or
Lara Valkyria.
yeah, them
Yeah.
two for Raw, and then SmackDown. I say Michin or Candice LeRae. Candice Candice is a monster. If y'all ever seen her PWG stuff, she's a monster, and she's been held back completely. When I tell you she wrestled better than Johnny, her husband, at points in time, she was better than her husband. Her husband was nasty in the Indies. So I don't get how she got underused so far like this, like horrible.
Mm.
But I think those are the two. Those are the four contestants to win.
I like Zoe Stark personally. I, I think Zoe's talented, man, but she just ain't get her shine yet. And not being a tag, as long as none of the old people get it, I really don't care. I don't want to see none of the old people with them. I want to see new people with the belts.
Right,
Nobody
right. I
old with the
agree.
belts no
I
more.
agree. Yeah, I agree. I agree. Like we don't.
I
I
want
don't
to see
want to
nobody
see Charlotte Flair
Natalia.
come back, get the title out of
Yeah,
nowhere. Yeah, like nah, I'm good on that. I kind of want to see the new talent
yeah.
kind of shine through and carry. You know, give them a chance to carry. Like there's a lot. Like even speaking of war games, because Dylan brought it up earlier. Like the first war games match with the women, there was a lot of crazy botches in that match. It was.
It was led by Nia Jax.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Ooh,
The
terrible,
chair shots had me
terrible,
rolling.
It was very
terrible.
crazy though. It was a lot of botches. I was like, yo, this is not.
And
You
if you
know.
paid attention, when Nia Jax hit Naomi, Naomi was laughing.
See.
It's crazy.
Yo, it
Mm-hmm.
was terrible. That was terrible. It was terrible.
Yeah.
Even when they was hitting each other with the tools and everything else, It was terrible. It was
Why did
terrible.
not? Why did Nia swing that chair like Hulk Hogan did in WCW? Mad slow, mad slow. She said
Oh my god.
and walked off. I'm like, all right, man, get her out of here.
Yo, how many
Oh
pump
god.
fake chair shots did you see in that match? How many pump fakes? Like,
A lot.
it has
A
A
to
lot.
lot.
be,
It
A
oh,
lot.
yeah.
it's like they didn't want to get down and dirty. They were scared.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I be saying. Like if the women, excuse me, if the women want to be, treated like the men and they want all that stuff, you gotta get a little dirty too. Like you gotta get hit. A lot of them
Yeah.
was kind of like, nah, oh, not your head, your face and your back and Bailey was on the camera. She said, "Oh, your elbow." Like they saying all the cues on camera, and they they
It's
they they
crazy.
they they're like they're choreographing the chair shots in front of the. It's just it should have been way more polished up to me,
It,
way
And
they
what's
more.
should have
crazy
took
to me too. But
a.
Nah, go ahead. See what you said.
yeah, what's crazy to me about Nia Jax is like how she goes from basically destroying Lyra in Crown Jewel with the Annihilator to going to mess up chair shots.
Crazy,
They should have
Yeah.
took a
crazy.
page out of Rhea Ripley and Raquel Rodriguez match on Monday. That was the
Mm-hmm.
fight.
Yeah, that
That was a
was
good
for
fight.
sure.
That was a good fight.
Mm-hmm.
Did y'all
She
see
go.
Deadline?
Yeah, Deadline was a pretty good show.
Jada Parker and Lola Vice, they underground match. That was vicious.
Mm.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely. Because, like, Lola Vice, she comes from the MMA background and she transitioned to wrestling. I could say she's literally one of the best ones that could do it. Like, Ronda Rousey done it, but she was horrible.
Oh, thank
Uh,
God.
what happened?
I said, thank God you said that.
Yeah. Because, and I like Ronda from UFC, but, like, once she transitioned to WWE, it was just ridiculous. The amount of botching she was doing, she was messing up on her lines and stuff like that. I get it. Most wrestlers mess up on lines, but Ronda was literally the worst one. Shayna Baszler was another one, but she was good though. She didn't have great mic skills, but she was good wrestling wise and like with the submissions and stuff like that.
Yeah. So really quickly, because this is something that I just recently learned about. Like recently learned about. What do you guys know about these universes on YouTube that people are creating for WWE in the video game? Like, what do you guys know about that?
Not
from
much.
from what I've seen over the years, a lot of wrestling heads, some of them create the arenas. You have other ones that create the characters and their attire, and then there's a guy named Element Games, and I think he does the. To me, he does the best virtual reality, I guess you want to say, of putting out different storylines and stuff. Like I said earlier, to y'all, he did a John Cena took over the NWO. He did Undertaker and Kane dying, and then their sons coming along, and their sons reviving them. Crazy stuff. They had one where Eric Bischoff took over WWE and took out Vince. So I love the creativity of those. I do feel like maybe this writers and stuff should go look at people like that loves wrestling and have creative minds like that branch off and give different ideas. Because looking at it on YouTube, it looks interesting.
Well, I got a guy on here name's Dylan, really good friend of mine. Real big WWE fan. We actually spoke last week about this, and he was telling me about he had plans to launch and he wanted to do something along the lines of this. attached to his brand as well, because he does have a wrestling like clothing line as well. So Dylan, if you want to touch on that, please, man, share that knowledge with us, because we would love to hear about it, man.
Sure. Uh, so like I said, I got really back into wrestling. Not, I guess recently, like I've always been in it. I kind of took some time off with the whole PG era because it was boring and I just didn't really have the time when I was in college to watch. But now I have time to watch and get reinvested into the storylines and everything else. And I'm a creative guy. Kev knows. I like to create things. I like to think really deeply into things and why people do the things that they do and all these different things. So I was like, screw it, let me get the WWE game because it was the 40 years of WrestleMania anniversary, I believe. I was like, it sounds cool. Give me something to play. I was in between playing like Warzone and I wasn't playing Fortnite and all this other stuff. So I was like, let's just dive back in, like, you know, all the way in. So I was looking things up on YouTube, people creating universes, and I knew this was a thing because I used to be a part of a wrestling forum because I used to play the wrestling games back in the day where you had to look up how to create a wrestler if he wasn't in the game, printed out the thing, and had to do all the numbers, the X's and Y's, and all this stuff. So I was looking it up and it really piqued my interest. And I had created characters when I was younger that they weren't real people. They were like based off of real people. My cousin Josh used to create these characters. For instance, he created a character called Viper before Randy Orton was the Viper. And it was this green guy with like a snake looking face. He was all green, skin was green, his outfit was green. It was really dope. Created some guy named Red Death, just a big burly guy with a red mask that just came and like wreaked havoc. Kind of based him off of Kane. So, it was just something I've always liked to do, and I started creating it. It's called Global Wrestling Empire. I created a YouTube channel for it. I haven't uploaded any matches or done anything. I started to do it, got really busy. Life kind of got in the way, so it's all right. I was telling Kev maybe I'll re-up it once the new game comes out. I think that'll be pretty cool. But I have all the branding, I have all the logos, I have arenas created for the two shows, the Monday night show and the Friday night show. We got Monday Night Mutiny and Friday Night Fury. And I also have, I want to say, 8 PLEs created. And I have all the branding for those shows as well. So yeah, it's just something, it's a passion project of mine, a hobby. I just want to create a space to tell stories through wrestling, just like the WWE does, but like with my own characters mixed in with WWE wrestlers and kind of just create a whole brand new thing. And as far as the brand goes, it's not a wrestling brand per se, it's just a clothing brand. I've always been passionate about, design and creating and stuff like that. So I figured if I create my brand and my logos and just branding around this one brand called the Aura Project, I could put those images and designs in the game on, my created wrestlers and stuff like that and have it posted on YouTube. And it's another way to market the brand and wrestling together as a whole. So I thought it would be pretty cool to kind of just combine it all. But yeah, that's basically it in a nutshell.
Yeah, man, that's pretty cool, man. I mean, when we first spoke about it, I had no idea this thing was even going on. So just to hear how passionate you are about that, man, like you got my full support, and I know everybody here on the 10th Man on the Bench podcast is going to support you no matter what. And when
Of
them
course.
shirts come out, you know what I'm saying, extra large, baby. You know how that go.
Yeah, once you
Extra
got it
large for me.
going, I'll definitely support for sure.
Yeah, we
Thank you.
got you,
Thank
man.
you.
Yeah. And then send me to YouTube and all that stuff. And
Mhm.
these guys here, man, they have great knowledge, great input. They could give you feedback on the universes or whatever the case may be. And yeah, man, welcome to the family. This is the 10th Man family, and we support each other, man. So that's a great project that you got going on, man.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, I think I sent you some mock-ups already, but if you have a
Mm-hmm.
group chat or whatever, I can send them in the group chat so you guys can see. And feedback is always welcome. Ideas, anything you got, I'll take it because you guys know, I'm sure life is busy, life gets in the way, and it gets hard to kind of conjure up some things sometimes. So, but yeah, I have a pretty good base right now. I just the logistical things like finding a manufacturer that's not gonna charge me an exorbitant amount of money for a sample of 5 t-shirts or something like that. But yeah, I'll send over some stuff if you can get me in a group chat or whatever, just so you guys can see what I'm working on. And if you guys got ideas, I'm always down to listen. So I appreciate it a lot. Thank you.
You guys down for a group chat, wrestling group
Yeah,
chat?
of
I'll put
course, of
everybody in the group
course.
chat. I'm with that.
Yeah,
Definitely,
Yeah, set
definitely.
that
I was
up.
going. I was going to
definitely.
ask Dylan with his the promotion and all that. Did you think about doing commentary, having a broadcast team, and doing like a little stream on YouTube where you have the video in the back and you have a broadcast team
Mm.
uh during your videos? I think that would be good. A good idea.
So I did think about that, and I had one of my cousins said he might have been interested in doing it, but he wasn't really interested in the whole wrestling side of like wrestling. He was more interested in the storylines. So I was like, it would kind of be perfect because you can tell the story, but it's okay. He doesn't have to do it. And then I had one of my best friends that said he was going to do it, but our schedules don't match up and he's busy. So the way I was going to do it was I have the matches, right? And you on PlayStation, you can clip your stuff. So I can clip all the stuff that I'm going to do each match, have it all clipped out, throw it onto like Canva or something just to kind of have it all seamless and together. And then whoever would be the commentator, just be like, send them the video, be like, here you go, commentate over this and record yourself commentating over this as it happens live. And I'll edit and do whatever as it goes, and then just get better at editing. That's another project I want to get into is video editing because I'm a graphic designer. I just never did video editing full time. And once Kev starts the group chat, I can send you the little promo video I have for the Aura project too, and for the GWE. I actually found an AI to replicate Triple H's voice to say Global Wrestling Empire, which is pretty dope. I will say. But yeah,
That's dope.
I definitely did think about a commentating team. I would love if some like two people could do it and just that could be like a side project for everybody. And if it starts generating money, everybody's making money.
Yes,
Um,
sir.
Yes,
and
sir.
then I can make branding out of GWE, have it copyrighted and all this stuff. So yeah, I just want to do it as a hobby and see where it took me. But if anybody wants to commentate, I'm down to work it out.
Yeah, we definitely got to do this group chat. I like that idea.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, right. That's what I
Yeah,
said.
I
I said,
like that
yo, this is
idea.
an
I like that
idea.
idea, Dylan.
Mm-hmm.
Great
That's a good
Yeah.
one.
all coming together.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, sir.
Well, guys, we like to play a fun game here on 10th Man on the Bench podcast. It's called Stardom or Bench 'em. But today is the wrestling. So we're gonna do pin 'em or kick out. So let's go. All right, guys. So welcome to Pin 'em or Kick Out. So I'm gonna lay off a list of topics. You guys are gonna either pick The Rock, Roman Reigns, Stone Cold, Bret Hart, anybody who I name. You're gonna say pin 'em or kick out. Pin 'em meaning they get the win. Kick out meaning that the other person gets the win. All right, you guys ready?
Let's do it.
Yep.
All right, let's go. All right, so first match: The Rock or Roman Reigns. Pin 'em or kick out.
Kick out.
Who you got kicking out? See?
Roman.
Okay. Who you got, Rel?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's tough.
Pin 'em.
It's tough. Pin 'em.
Pin 'em.
The Rock. The Rock.
genetic jackhammer, pin Triple H, and give me Vince. Give me Vince. The genetic jackhammer. The genetic.
I'm gonna go Triple H.
Okay.
Man,
with H.
that Vince was different, man, with Stone Cold. And that was a different Vince.
Facts.
I'm going with Vince. I'm gonna go with
Triple
Vince.
H. Triple H heart hurt right now. He do any movements, he might collapse.
Yeah.
Dylan, who you got, man? Who you got?
I got H. I can't go wrong with H.
All right, man. Yo, man, thank y'all for playing, man. All right, man. So look, man, we've been talking about WWE for a long time, AEW, all these promotions. I just want to give you guys your flowers, man. Thank y'all for supporting the 10th Man on the Bench podcast. Really appreciate it. Thank all of you guys for coming on and just speaking your opinion about wrestling. This sport is not spoken about enough in this community, and I'm glad that we was able to do this wrestling special because this is one of my favorite sports. I don't care what anyone says, WWE is a sport to me. These guys are real athletes putting on real shows, and you know, these guys are just as jacked or in shape as any other real athlete in the world. And man, I just appreciate you guys coming on and really doing the podcast, man.
Happy to
if
be
you
here.
got, yeah, man, if you guys want, you can say your @ names, you can say, tell people where to follow you at. Just let people know what's up, man, where they can find you at.
Put it in the chat. Put it in the chat.
Got you.
And
Got
there's
you.
no load management in wrestling.
Ah.
Ooh, I got one more take, and I forgot to say this.
Go ahead, man.
Oba Femi in 2 years will also be running the WWE.
He's a beast.
That man, the man's aura, his mic skills and his in-ring skills, yeah, they found a gym with him because he's a beast. That deadline match, the little 5 minutes he had in that deadline Survivor deadline match, amazing.
Dying Survivor.
Yes. 5 minutes he was in the match. He killed it.
You think he's gonna get the title from Trick?
Easy. Squash match. Squash match.
Well, it might be a triple threat, but I think he still wins overall.
Who win the triple threat? Person, third person would be.
I think Eddie Thorpe is added to the match from last night when he finessed Ava.
Oh, he's taking the pin. He's taking the pin.
Yeah, definitely, because NXT is actually turning up right now, to be honest.
Yeah. Well, all right, man. Thank y'all for joining the show. We see y'all on the next one. Peace.